Hey everybody. Today we're doing the LeetCode Daily kth distinct string in an array. Problem number 2053. A distinct string is a string that is present only once in an array. So given an array of strings ARR and an integer k, return the kth distinct string present in ARR. If there are fewer than k distinct strings, return an empty string. Note that the strings are considered in the order in which they appear in the array. So for example, our array here, we have D, B, C, B, C, A, and we have K equals 2, and it would output A because the only distinct strings in ARR are D and A. Everything else appears more than once. And so within the distinct strings, D appears first and A appears second. And so since K is 2, A is returned. These are all distinct in this case. An example 2. And here we get an empty string because there are no repeating elements. Okay, so the idea I have for this problem is to create some type of list which stores every element we've seen so far. All right, so we loop through the elements of ARR and we add it to this list. If not in list, we add. The reason we want to do this is so that when we have repeating elements and we observe them, um, we can set them to be, or that really would not work, honestly, because then how do I know which elements have only appeared once? I can sort the array. No, that's going to change the order. We need to preserve order. We could create a dictionary where the key is the letter and the value is the count. All right, that's what I'm going to go for. Dict. Your key would be like A. Value would be like 1. But then where would we store the index? I don't feel like this problem is necessarily that hard. I just don't know why. I can't seem to find a working solution. Okay, hear me out. This might be a little complicated, but we have one list for everything we've seen so far, and we have another list for things we've seen more than once. Everything seen once, more than once, right? So officially, when we see two B's, it would go to this list. And at the end, we'd have list 1 with all elements just once. And once we have that list, in order to, because we're preserving the order in that list, we just return list 1 of k minus 1 because of 0 indexing. That makes sense. A little all over the place, but that does make sense. Let's go and code this up. Let's create a list 1 and a list 2 for element in ARR. if element not in list 1 and element not in list 2, list 1 dot append element, right? Now we want to test if element in list 1, we want to also, we could definitely make this an else if condition. I'll get back to that. If element in list 1, then list 1 dot pop element. Does that work? Or remove? I think remove is better. Remove element and list 2 dot append element. Now officially preserve elements that only appear once in list 1. Return. So now we return the list 1 of k minus 1 if len list 1 less than equals to k. Else empty string. It's not equals to. It's greater than or equal to. If the length of this list is greater than, let's see what list 1 has here. List 1's empty. Oh, because this test, of course, is going to be in list 1 if it's appended to list 1, right? The condition here was you add an element to list 1, then remove an element if it's in list 1. But you don't want that. Or it's an or case, basically. So either one of the two things happens. And hopefully this should be fine. The runtime was a little questionable. Let me see what a more optimal solution looks like. Yeah, I realized it had something to do with dictionaries. So we create a dictionary for a character in array. We increment that character's value by 1. Distinct are only the keys where it's equal to 1, and return that. Okay, so it's the same concept. They just used a dictionary to do it and keep a counter. And the good thing about this is we could almost immediately find the list of distinct values while also preserving our order, which is great. I failed to realize that that was a possibility. But thank you guys for watching. Hope that was a useful video. And yeah, later.